Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist needs you to believe. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So belief, this is something the narcissist never wanted you to have in yourself. And it started when the narcissist first met you. They began to plant seeds of doubt, seeds of wondering, seeds if you are who you thought you were, meaning if you're strong enough and if your belief system would stay intact. The narcissist infiltrated your life. They were wearing a mask, they manipulated you, and they stole so many things from you, which include your time, money, energy, some of your empathy, your love, your belief in yourself, your belief in humanity, your belief in what other people could actually do to other people, etc. But what happened when you were in that relationship is you were a pawn and a puppet. You weren't taught or you weren't educated on the narcissistic abusive cycle, so you didn't know what you were up against. It was advantage narcissist from the beginning they met you up until that moment when you figured out who they were. And that is when you had your first light bulb moment. That's when you found the needle in a haystack, which is narcissism. Now again, the advantage was all to the narcissist because they knew that you could love. They knew that you had a high level of caring, of compassion, of empathy, etc., and that you would always do the right thing, and that you would always be there to put out the fires that the narcissist was starting intentionally. Now, did you know any of this? No, you just knew that you kept on giving to a fault. Maybe you were a people pleaser. I am certain you didn't have boundaries, which meant you couldn't say no, the strongest word in the English language, but you kept on working to repair that relationship, and the narcissist kept on puncturing holes in that relationship, testing you, seeing how far they could push you, seeing when that relationship would ultimately break and snap and give. And the whole time they were grooming, and I do mean grooming, other sources of supply behind your back. Now, these sources of supply, they certainly don't have to be romantic. They could be friends, they could be colleagues, it could be a recycled source, maybe a sibling of the narcissist that they didn't talk to for a year or two, suddenly re-emerged into their life because all of a sudden now they're best friends. Well, why do you think that would happen? It would happen because the narcissist is a snake oil salesperson. They use their charm any which way the wind blows to get whatever they want from anybody during any period of their life. And again, if they would recycle a sibling, maybe the sibling just gave them one more chance. I hear this so frequently each and every day, but it's not just with siblings or romantic relationships. Maybe the narcissist was your parent. Maybe it was your friend. Maybe it was a neighbor. Maybe it was a colleague, coworker, boss, a person in a community and or organization you are and or were a part of. Who knows where and or who the narcissist was. But what the narcissist wanted you to do, they wanted you believing in the mask. They wanted you believing in their false narrative. They wanted you believing that you couldn't live without them. They wanted you believing that they were a part of the best relationship that you had ever experienced. Now, the whole point of that last part I shared is when you were in the relationship, maybe you were love bombed. And maybe in the beginning of that relationship, not only did it move at light speed, but it was exciting. It was like you were on a roller coaster going super high and drop super low and up, down, in, around, all over the place. Well, that's what happened probably. But again, that's why these relationships are the relationships you need to heal from, because there's no stability in these relationships. There's no certainty. There's no commonplace. There's no common ground. There's no commitment or fulfillment. It's the narcissist doing whatever they wanted to do, whenever they wanted to do it, and you were along for the ride for a period of time. Now, that love bomb / euphoric stage, that lasted maybe a few weeks, months, maybe a year or so. But eventually, when the narcissist figured out that they had placed you in the trauma bond or the narcissistic fog or the devaluation stage or all three, that's when they began to pull back because it wasn't as exciting for them any longer. You see, they had already done most of their hard work during the love bomb / euphoric stage, and then something snapped and something broke, and they saw you and they said, wait, you, which is the person watching the video, this person isn't that amazing, and they're actually trapped. They love me, they're adoring me, they're fawning all over me, they're available to me whenever I want them. They are believing in me. When that happened, that's not as exciting for the narcissist any longer. That's when they usually need to go elsewhere and look to groom other sources of supply, the whole time keeping you on the shelf. Now, remember, whether you married the narcissist or not, whether you were in a romantic relationship or not, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you were in a relationship that you did not know how to get out of because you were in that really, really dark space called the narcissistic fog. This is where you were existing This is where you were believing that the narcissist could change. This is where you were believing in all the words they were telling you. This is when you were not trusting your instincts or your intuition. You were ignoring red flags, and all of your resources were becoming decimated left, right, and center. Like I shared earlier in the video, your health, time, money, energy, effort, everything, your clarity, your focus, your performance at work, etc. Because you were trying to figure out how to fix the narcissistic relationship, but you weren't taught Narcissism 101 in school, so you didn't realize that you could never fix the narcissistic relationship. It was something you had to go through. There was no other way. And once that relationship ended, let's say that you were discarded, or if you ended it yourself, either way my heart goes out to you, but when it ended, it usually, or most likely, ended with a thud, a crash, a bang. It was probably one of the most challenging experiences, which was the ending of that relationship for yourself. Now, was it challenging for the narcissist? Absolutely not. They had been down that road many, many, many times. They had blown up so many relationships before they met you. They had devastated and crushed people's hopes, dreams, aspirations, goals, and futures. And you were just one of those people in line to encounter the juggernaut, to encounter the behemoth, which is the narcissist. Now, as I shared earlier, what the narcissist needs you to believe is they need you to believe that you were at fault, that you didn't do what you should have done, that you could have done more, that if you had done A, B, and C, you would have still been with the narcissist, and things would have been all puppies and rainbows, unicorns and butterflies, and everything would have been great. Well, we now know that nothing ever was puppies and rainbows, unicorns and butterflies, and it certainly wasn't great. Did you have good times in the narcissistic relationship? Yes, you did. Did you even have some great times? I'm sure you did. But did they equal out or balance out all the toxicity that you experienced? All of the smear campaign that you endured? All the silent treatment that you experienced? All the doors being slammed? Glasses being broke? Verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, maybe even physical abuse? No, absolutely not. So if you do the pro-con list and you weigh the benefits of that relationship, you're going to find out they were few and far between, if any at all. And the con list is going to be longer than 1,000 miles, because the narcissistic relationship, it's toxic, it's draining, it's challenging. It is a one-way ticket to Destructionsville, and there's only one person who ever benefits from the narcissistic relationship. It is the narcissist, and they know this, because at the end of the day, the narcissist doesn't care about anybody but themselves. They don't care about their spouses. They don't care about their parents. They don't care about their siblings. They don't care about their children. They don't care about their jobs or anything. All they care about is they get whatever they want to and continue to use, abuse, manipulate, and take from other people. I want to talk about vulnerability for a moment. Let's say that your sibling is the narcissist, and that your parents are enablers, or I'm not going to say your parents are narcissists, but if they are, that's a whole different challenge. But let's just say that your parents don't really stand up to your sibling who is the narcissist. Well, there could be many reasons why that would happen. One, perhaps your sibling has children and your parents don't want to be parental or grandparental alienated from your nieces and nephews. You really need to understand that. Basically, they're being blackmailed or held hostage, but eventually that probably will happen. Next thing is, they're afraid of the narcissist because they're afraid of the wrath that they will experience, because that child, which is your brother or sister, they are a petulant child in an adult body, and they've always done whatever they wanted to do, and there has never been a consequence to pay for their poor behavior, and your parents probably have enabled that. These are examples. I'm not saying that this specifically pertains to you, but then perhaps you're the white sheep or the black sheep of the family. You're the empath, you're the kind, loving, stable person, and you don't believe you're being listened to. You're being thrown under the bus left, right, and center. Why do you think that is? Well, I'll tell you why. Because your parents know who you are. They know that you're a stable, kind, loving, genuine, authentic person. They also know, without saying it, that your sibling is a toxic person. Are they going to actually come out and tell you that? Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. But what they do is they want to keep the family together at times, so they won't treat you the way you should be treated, because they know you're strong enough to take care of yourself. And they will give some of the attention they should be giving to you, to your sibling, because they know that that person can't or won't take care of themselves. This is exactly how it goes around, around, and around in a loop, which is the narcissistic abusive cycle. The narcissist preys upon vulnerable people. They prey upon people's empathy. They prey upon people feeling sorry for them or giving them one more chance or putting out the fires that they're starting. These are all examples of how the narcissistic abusive cycle, it only deteriorates over time. It never improves. So what the narcissist wanted you believing They wanted you to believe that they were the best thing since sliced bread, that they are infallible, that they make no mistakes, that you should apologize to them, that you should be grateful that they're in your life, etc. Well, none of those things are true. The truth of the matter is, once you've identified what narcissism is, once you've learned the definitions in the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle, and you recognize that narcissism has affected you for a period of time in your life, maybe it is a sibling, maybe it is your spouse, maybe it's your child, maybe it's your parents, who knows, colleague, coworker, friend. But once you identify that and you get the wisdom, you owe it to yourself to go no contact, to block these people, delete them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. Now, I understand if you can't do that. If you can't, utilize gray rock, but don't give the narcissist many more chances. One more chance, once you identify who they are, is one chance too many, because the narcissist cannot introspect, they cannot change, they cannot elevate or ascend or evolve. The only thing they can do is change the mask that they wear for the audience that they're performing for. And sometimes that's an audience of one, sometimes it's an audience of a few, many times it's an audience of many. But no matter who the audience is that the narcissist is performing for, that's a direct correlation as to which mask they will wear. Because the narcissist is always performing 24/7. They need supply. They need people to fawn over them. They need people to adore them. They need to be needed. And what the narcissist really wanted is they wanted you to believe in the mask. The narcissist needed you to believe in them. The narcissist needed you to believe that you couldn't exist without them. The narcissist wanted you to believe that they could change, they would change, etc. That is why once you understand who the narcissist is and you recognize that the narcissist will never give you closure, they're never going to have a meaningful "I apologize" or "I was wrong" or "Yes, I understand that I try to blow up your life and I shouldn't be doing things like that." They will never say any of those things. They're never going to mean anything, because the narcissist is a dark energy source. They cannot do anything other than slither away, disappear, rewrite the past, come back and try to kick that door wide open one more time. That is why I suggest so frequently go no contact, etc. But giving the narcissist more chances, that will never benefit you. Think about when you were in the relationship with them. Did it benefit you back then? No, it didn't. So why would it change now? It won't, it can't, and it never will. That's why what the narcissist needed you to believe was that it was your fault, that you blew up the relationship, that maybe even you are the narcissist, that you're the challenging person, that you need to see a therapist, that you need help, that you need to work on yourself, that you need to do better, you need to improve. This is what the narcissist wants to do. Now, all the things I just mentioned to you in the past 15 seconds, that's projection on the part of the narcissist. You see, the narcissist knows who they are. They put their clothes on the exact same way that you do. They breathe the same air. The thing is, every morning when the narcissist wakes up, they have an opportunity to stand for goodness or to do what they continue to do and destroy people's lives and blow up people's lives and relationships. And they choose the latter almost every single day, unless they need something. Then they'll put on that little fake mask for a couple hours or a half a day, and then they'll get whatever they want and they'll go back to being toxic. But this is what the narcissist does. They needed you to believe in them. Now go back in time when you were in that narcissistic relationship. In the very beginning, when you first met them, you didn't know what narcissism was, and you were believing in the words that the narcissist was telling you. You were not paying attention to the lack of actions or the actions that they were showing you, because you kept on giving to a fault. You kept on giving them more opportunities, etc. And this is what the narcissist was hoping. The narcissist in the beginning of that relationship was hoping that they could stay as close to you as possible for a period of time, maybe a couple weeks, a couple months, a year or so, until they really got you hooked on them. And once they knew you were hooked on them, it was game, set, match, advantage narcissist. And that's exactly one of the conundrums, one of the cruxes, one of the most challenging things to wrap your head around, how somebody could actually brainwash and plant so many seeds of doubt, seeds of desperation, seeds of lack of belief in yourself, and do it on purpose. Well, that's what the narcissist does. That's what they did before they met you. That's what they did with you when they met you. That's what they're doing right now if they're still gallivanting the globe. But the narcissist knows what they're doing. They will never, ever, ever be accountable. They will never apologize. They cannot ever change or introspect. So all the therapists in the world, all the books in the world, all the videos, all the counseling that the narcissist thinks they can get, they don't put their heart into it, because the narcissist has no heart. There's no substance to them. There's no core to them. The narcissist cannot love. There's no empathy. There's just a vast wasteland, an empty space where there should be a heart. There's an empty void in their mind where there should be empathy and love. There's nothing to these people. All they do is mimic back to other people or regurgitate other people's words, notions, actions, thoughts, mindsets. So this is why the narcissist needs supply, because they need to stay busy. The narcissist cannot sit still. They need more and more people to believe in them. They need more and more people to pump up their fragile ego. They need more and more people to surround themselves with, to fawn all over them and tell them that they're the best thing in the world and they're amazing. And how did they ever get to be so wise and smart and beautiful and intelligent and successful? Well, I'll tell you exactly how they got to be any of those things. Because they're parasites. They stole from unsuspecting people. They ripped people off of their ideas, their mindsets, their money, their sanity, their soul, their clarity, their abundance, their relationships, their focus, their drive, their purpose. This is what the narcissist does. And if you think that the narcissist will ever change or ever improve, you really need to think again. Think about how debilitating and challenging and toxic and taxing that relationship was that you were a part of. There were nights when you couldn't sleep. There were times when you couldn't turn a light switch on. You couldn't figure out how so many people disappeared and left you alone and abandoned and isolated. Well, that's because most of those people were in the camp of the narcissist. You just didn't know it, because the narcissist had administered the smear campaign well before you figured out what it was. Because why? Because the narcissist needed people believing in what they were selling those people. And all the flying monkeys and all the enablers and all the people the narcissists surround themselves with, what they don't understand is one day too, they will be targeted. Yes, they will. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, is immune from the wrath of the narcissist. Not one person, not their children, not their parents, not their spouses, not their colleagues, coworkers, neighbors, not their besties of 25 or 26 years. Nobody is immune. And each and every person will suffer the wrath of the narcissist, either directly or indirectly. That's why you must go no contact, etc. That's why you must stop believing that it was your fault, that you could have done more, that you should have done more, that if you only did A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z would have happened. Well, then none of that's true. The narcissistic relationship that you were a part of, it was going to implode. It was going to end, as they all do, because each and every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. You now know that, or you're learning it. That's why you need to stay away from these people. You need to let them slither away into the darkness. You need to let them stay in that low vibrational quagmire state as you heal, as you ascend, as you learn and you become educated and awakened, empowered, and you understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. There is so much room at the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference, up there for you. Myself and so many other people who I've helped reach the pinnacle of indifference are reaching our hands down, trying to pull you back up to where you belong, where you need to get to, which is not in the low vibrational quagmire state. It's up at the pinnacle where there's all sunshine, and your beautiful, bright, shining light will illuminate for the rest of your life and even afterwards. But that won't happen if you are still communicating with the narcissist, and if you're still giving them chances, and specifically if you are still believing in their false narrative, and or if you're still believing in the mask. Everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful, and I mean beautiful, Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. And what the narcissist needs, why the narcissist needs people believing in them and the mask, is because this is what they do. They sell you nothing but emptiness. They give you nothing but toxicity. And they take anything from you in return. They will gladly exchange their toxicity and dump it into you, so you are blaming yourself and feeling guilty for doing something you never did, and you never even knew that narcissism existed on the planet. But this is what the narcissist does. They will get in your mind and they will infiltrate it, and they will have you doubting yourself and believing that they were the person that you should be missing, etc. That's not the truth. The truth is the narcissist doesn't care about anybody. They don't care about you, their own kids, or the new supplier, anybody. The only thing the narcissist cares about is keeping people trapped in that narcissistic fog and what people do for them, because the narcissist looks at every individual as an opportunity to take advantage of. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.